Guessing you can see the tracks going up there. And I said, you know, why not? It's obviously somebody came here with a 4x4, and since he made the tracks, I thought, why don't I just follow the tracks? Now, it is muddy, and it is very, very steep. I don't know if you can tell how steep it actually is. It's about I would say more than a 45-degree angle. But I got my walking stick to give me leverage, and I have the roots in the ground, so I hope I won't fall to my death. Oh. So go figure, I left my most heaviest piece of gear at home, my hammock chair. Amazing wilderness camp and hammock chair. I left it at home, which really sucks. I realized that as I was in the car. I didn't put it in, did I? Oh, shh. I was already on the way, so didn't feel like turning back. When I was small, was I ever small? When I was a kid and I used to go somewhere with my folks, my dad never turned around. He made sure he had everything with him because he thought it was bad luck to turn around. Well, that wasn't that hard. Now you may see how steep that was. It wasn't because of that. I just I already started on my journey. And it looks to me like whoever came up here turned around and went back down, because the tracks stop here. I don't mind people who off-road in the woods as much as people who leave trash behind. Oh well, it is the 29th of December. After more than 10 days, I finally healthy, well, physically. Had the longest cold, the worst one too. I don't get a cold like regular people do, so this was a premiere for me. My whole head was tight. I couldn't breathe out of my nose. It was bad, headaches and stuff. No fever, but it wasn't a pleasant time. So finally, I'm out. Well, I might have been pushing it since I was out last week, when I thought, well, you know, I might be okay. And that was not my Bill Clinton impersonation. That was my me not breathing out of my nose. Oh, I'm cracking myself up here. So yeah, I made it out without my amazing wilderness camp hammock chair, and without my Gränsforsbruk wildlife hatchet. That one I left at home for obvious reasons. And we are continuing our ascent. Now if I take this with me, I won't be able to film my road up there, and I wouldn't want to not show you, deprive you of having to look at this mug. Water bottle a plastic water bottle. I like to take it with me. Mainly because I want to do something. I seen this on a show, Fat Guys in the Woods, and thought it was a cool idea. So, well, yes, it's very wet. It rained. Started last evening. Started raining. Now it's dogs. Now it's 2 degrees and very, very wet, very cold. So I don't know how much time I'll spend out here. It's already 1:30. But I said, you know, I wanted to just hike a bit. I'm not as tired as I was last time hiking, which is good. I wanted to hike just a bit. I don't think I'm going to take the water bottle. It's going to be here next time I come. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I stopped taking trash out of the woods a while ago when I saw it's really futile. No matter how much trash you take out, there's always going to be more. A friend of mine told me that he read a book, The World Without Us, and he said that the best way to dispose of plastic is to burn it. Don't know, not sure, but it does make a bit of sense. He explained it very nicely. So, all right, getting out of breath, filming and talking. So I'm gonna turn you off, and for you, it's just gonna be a fraction of a second until I stop yapping again. Start. See? Whew. So somebody asked me to show how a knife cuts paper, and then show how fast I can get it back to paper cutting sharp after I work with it. It's kind of difficult, you know. I don't carry paper with me for one very good reason: weight. Paper weight. I'm cracking myself up here. But it is a bit hard to get paper out here, mainly because I don't know where to put it in my backpack unless I take a small notepad. And although I like the idea, I never really did it. And amongst other things that I forgot at home today, with my hammock chair, gloves. Now, gloves are not necessary, but when you're hiking or standing around not doing anything, they do come in handy. So I kind of went out really quick out of the house today. I wasn't actually planning to come out here. So I left a lot of things at home, but I still have plenty of knives. Yeah. So let's see. One thing I'm gonna need is my Laplander. I love the Laplander, really do. And I do have water. And since I don't want to get dehydrated after that 25-minute hike, good. Yes, but I do have a tactical pen. I have no idea when I put this in here. It must have been 2 weeks ago. Yes. Yeah, man. All since it is cold and wet and I forgot my hammock chair, I'm gonna have to find a nice place to sit, and I might as well sit by the fire. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Laplander and I'm gonna cut a dry piece of wood, which I'm gonna split, make a fire. But first, I should find some dry twigs. That's much easier. So, let me just secure this to my pants, pick you up off the tripod that I use, high tech, and go looking for twigs. A friend of mine has a very nice GoPro, and he said he would lend it to me if I wanted to film, but to be honest, one, I'm afraid of breaking it, and two, I'm not really any good with a lot of things, technology, you know. No dry saplings here. Haven't seen anybody out in the woods today, which is good. Alrighty, that one looks good. This one is hanging on by its bark, very rotten. A feat of strength. This one is actually pretty wet, so no, I will not use this one. But this, I might. Having to hold the camera in one hand and gathering stuff can get difficult, and especially when things break on you. I do like to keep a visual on my backpack for obvious reasons. There you go. This one should be good. All I need is just a few small sticks. And this one is actually perfect by the way it snapped. Dry standing wood. Oh wow, look at these puppies, very dry. So, oh, I've hit the jackpot. Look at that. Every second one is dry. So I'm gonna take this one since it's leaning. Oh, I might have to break this in two, make it easier to carry. This one is a bit wet, but I don't mind. It's gonna be a great base for my fire. And this, I'm gonna have to come back for this, because if I take it now, I'm just gonna drag it through the leaves. So I don't want to do that. And I do have some fine twigs here, but I can take this one. Oh, come on. Yes. The twigs did not... Oh, I lost the small one. And the small twigs are really what I want now. Oh. I'm gonna take it easy today. Don't want to sweat at all. And the nice part about the fact that it's rain is that I don't have to worry about the fire. Last time I was here, I did make a fire and I waited for it to go out before I left. Then I poured about 3/4 of a liter of water on it, and well, the woods didn't catch fire. It was very cold, but it was dry. Nevertheless, I will clear the fire site because, just because, Oh yeah, and there was a root sticking out of the ground there, which I didn't want to ignite. To be honest, even if it was cold and hasn't rained for weeks, the ground was still wet. You know, the leaves were wet, but this southern exposure part was dry. So I really don't want to take any chances with forest fires. What's that bear's name? The one that used to warn for forest fires? I don't know. We didn't have him here. I guess nobody thought we needed him. Alright, I'm gonna turn off the camera and go get those dry twigs. And I could build a fire with just those, and I might, but I do want to cut a piece of wood, and that is, yeah, the one, that stump over there. See that one? That is really hard and really dry, and good for testing. I have been testing my neck knife for weeks now, and I haven't sharpened it or did anything to the edge, the Fallkniven F1, for must be 3 weeks now. I did clean it up, wash it, and I did try to remove chips with a piece of wood, but not any strop or sandpaper, water stones or whatever. So as promised, I will turn off the camera and be right back. I'll just set you down on my high-tech tripod. Oh yeah. And that looks good. Since the first time I saw Ron Hood, I think it was on YouTube, I always thought him to be one of the coolest survival instructors, survival people on the internet. I liked his sense of humor, which is very important, and I've learned so many cool things from that guy, because, to be honest, I mean, sure, if you need to survive, if you need to be in the woods for a certain amount of time, you'll learn stuff and you'll make stuff up, but for me it was Ron Hood that I learned about trash bags from. And ever since, I carry at least one. I'd like to say at least 2 or 3, but right now this is the only one I have. And I use them. This one I have used for quite a while, just sitting on it. This is not the heaviest, dustiest of trash liners, but it does the job. Wow, it's muddy. Whew. So, let me get I got this big piece of wood that was actually on the ground, and it's wet. So this will serve as my base. You know, making fire is like having a drink. I just thought of that. Needs to be practiced, and you need to do so responsibly. That's just my opinion. All right. So, good dry wood. I realize that this is not a chopping knife, so no comments on that, please. But I do enjoy chopping with knives. I mean, it's very silly to have a knife that can chop and not to chop it. To me, that's just very silly. All right, I have my base. This will just be here because eventually these two shall burn. And until I have something interesting to say, I won't say anything else. Just won't keep you here to show you how I lay the rest of the wood down. Now, this is by no means a survival fire. You know, this is a bushcraft fire. I guess a lot of people get those two confused because, well, somebody goes out in the woods, chops a piece of wood down, splits it, makes a fire, and it's automatically a survival fire. Well, as long as you're doing it for YouTube, it's a bushcraft fire. But what I'm trying to say is that to all those people who say, you know, you don't need to baton wood. Well, yes, you do. I don't know if you can see this. There you go. This part of the tree is dead. And these small branches will snap off. They're dry. They're full of moisture. Even the wood I picked up and that was dry, that's still wet, you know. It was warm, then it got cold, then it rained, then it got cold, then it got a bit warmer. So you're gonna have raindrops and condensation and humidity everywhere. So this is a prime example of if I want to start a fire with a flint and steel or a friction fire, I'm gonna need to split wood and get some nice dry shavings, or have some homemade tinder. I always have some homemade tinder, Vaseline, and cotton. Great. I mean, you can get it wet and you can then start your fire. A bird pooped here. So what I'm going to do is, although this is very wet at the surface and it won't be down here, so I'll just use my handy dandy saw and cut a piece of it. And I did already take a layer off because this is going to get me all nice, warm and fuzzy on the inside. I'll try not to sweat, however. You sweat, you die. Another interesting concept which I haven't found to be true. I mean, I always sweat, but I don't die. I know. I'm full of jokes today. Otherwise it's gonna get boring. And because I'm a firm believer in the you sweat, you die saying, took off my jacket and I took off my hat. Whew. I don't know if you can see it, but this is bone dry. Very hard. I guess it took me about 5 minutes to saw through this. So now I'm gonna need to process it. Do that other evil thing that people talk about. Batoning or batoning, as the Brits would say. Very cool. Inside my pocket, candy. The bad part is I washed this fleece a couple of days ago, so I don't know if I should eat this, but if push comes to shove, I will eat the candy. And since I have such a good track record with breaking tools lately, I thought it would be a good idea to baton this. And you can see it's hard. The middle, you know, very, I don't know how to best show it to you, but it's very hard wood. Hoo-wee. So let's see if I can do some damage here. Hopefully the right amount of damage, where I don't know why I insist on putting this underneath. This is my cutting firing board. Placed it upside down, and the outside is wet, the other side is dry. Always good to have something like that. So what was the idea here? To just take slices off. We'll see if that works. My experience says that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one might work. Well, I guess I bit more than I could chew. And this is one reason why I don't like the thermal run. You can hit it, it'll be fine, but my Carta is much better for this. You know, I could just hit the handle like so, and see if eventually I could straighten the knife and pry a chunk off. But I would never pry with a knife, you know. I know, I'm cracking myself up here. Oh, this is the dirty part. Well, a conundrum, because you see I have some dirt here, and I would hate to put some chips in this wonderful clean blade that only has about 10 chips. So I don't know what to do. Oh, now we're talking. Now we are talking. You're not supposed to hit the handle. Oh, I could do something here. I could make a wedge out of this piece, which is kind of rotten on the outside, but it should work. You know, don't need that much to, let me put the knife here, tip up so it poses no threat. Of course. It's rotten on the outside, so. But at this point, it's all about who wants it more, me or the wood. I guess not me. Should have got my home glass out. There you go. Let's not pry with it. Oh, this is gonna be tough. This guy's hanging in there. There you go. Come on. Wow. This is one stubborn piece of wood. All right. Why do I insist on doing this? I'm further testing the knife. I try not to go on the pieces that have dirt. However, other knives don't give me a problem there. Good. Good. Let's go here. Oh, baby. I'm gonna have to put a wedge in it. Yes. I am currently warping the knife. I don't know if you can pick it up. Yeah, it's warping. That's some tough wood. Luckily, I do have another VG10 blade with which to fashion the wedge. Am I not just a most industrious little bushcrafter? There you go. I took it out and looks straight to me, though I did hit the thermaron handle a couple of times, but looks to be okay. I don't know if I can point it towards the camera so you can tell. Nope, the tip looks centered, so I guess it's okay. Ooh, I guess some people tuned off by now. And who can blame them? Who can blame them? All right. Now we're talking pieces of wood that are manageable. Let me get this piece here, so I have a nice surface on which to split. Let's take the cleaner end. Okay, I guess this is how it's going to go on from now on, so I'm just going to turn the camera off. Safe to say the knife survived so far, and I hope not to break it at this point. I mean, well, if I will, I promise I'll turn the camera on right after it breaks. So, trying to make a sort of a feather stick that I can ignite and just put it under there. It has started raining, so right now it's just drizzling off and on. And I'd like to test out my Mora fire steel. I did play around with it a bit. have to be honest about that. And I think I like it. It's a bit hard to hold here. There you go. I've split these pieces of wood with my knife, and I just batoned the knife through there. And I find that with such, well, rather small pieces of wood, a knife is, and also a small, thin-bladed knife, might be better than a big knife or a hatchet. It's more control there, and you can really get thin pieces of wood that you can add to your fire at the beginning. So I guess this is kind of turning into the one-stick fire. I never did that challenge. I never participated. Well, you know, whenever you get a good excuse to practice something, I think you should take advantage of it. And such challenges are just that. It is pretty wet. And making wood shavings out of this wood is also not the easiest of tasks. Every time I make fire, I try to film it. And I do fail a lot, but that is because I like to play around with stuff. I really like to see how far I can take it. You know, be all arrogant about fire. And right now you can see here, nothing's burning, and those few sticks caught fire there. So, like I said, I do like to play around with it. I think it's always, you can always take a good lesson from failing at achieving fire. The only reason I don't post those fails is because I think they're boring to other people, you know. Unlike bow drill fails, I think those are really always interesting. Alright, let me move my garbage bag out of the way with my board, which did an excellent job. And put the rest of the wood on the fire. And after this burns down, I'm gonna put those pieces on. I did get very warm while splitting and shaving wood. That's why I took my jacket off, but it's gonna go on in a minute because I don't want to catch a cold again. For later. twigs that I've collected. I didn't need them after all. No use in me stashing them somewhere because they would just get wet. And here you can see, I don't know if you can see just how wet everything is. But the wood inside was very nice. And you can see, caught a spark. Good stuff. So my fire is out. It is cold, and I'm staying here for a bit longer, just to make sure that all the small sticks are burned completely through. After which I will pour my water on top of them. It would be very hard to accidentally start a fire in the woods right now, but why take the chance? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to edit it. I don't know how much I can cut out. The next one will be about my opinions on the Fallkniven F1. I already have a review on the Fallkniven F1, not this one, the first one I had. And my opinion has not changed. But I was curious to see if I was really right. So after I got this, I started carrying it and using it as much as possible. And I'd like to share my conclusions about this knife with you in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed the video so far. Any questions or comments, just post them in the comment section. I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. I'd like to thank you for watching, and as always, I wish you all a great day.